Hey financial advisors, today we are talking through the top 5 stages of any successful marketing strategy. As we start the new year, make sure that these 5 components are a part of your vision for how you're going to grow your business through marketing. Let's get into it. Let's start with stage number 1. This is alignment. You have to make sure that 1, you know who your ideal customer is, 2, what they're like and what they are looking for, and 3, making sure that you are aligned with them on those points. Now, if you've been in business for a while, you probably have a pretty good grip on this already, but I like to encourage our clients to articulate this persona. You may find that in actually getting the thoughts out of your head and onto paper or onto a document, that you get a better, clearer, more importantly, sharper view of the kind of person that you're trying to reach. I also encourage you to do this with your team. Your client base is not all one personality, and more likely than not, they're not all your personality specifically. So have a collaborative session with people in your team to help you form a view of what is the kind of client we want to work with, what are their top needs, what are their top concerns, and then you can start to align your marketing strategy to talk to this kind of person or these kinds of people specifically. One final note on alignment. It's helpful to pair this practice of articulating your ideal client with what we would call a brand inventory. Now, a brand inventory is when you look at all of the pillars of your marketing strategy. This is some of your evergreen material, such as your website or your brand collateral, your flyers, business cards, anything that represents you, as well as your kind of brand style and voice that goes out in your regular emails or your social media. It's helpful to take this re-articulated ideal client and actually give legs to the insight you have by just saying, okay, we have all these different platforms. How can we adjust or align our existing marketing to really reflect and hone in on that ideal client? If step number 1 is alignment, step number 2 is expansion. Now that you know who your ideal client is, one of these questions we also ask is, where do you find them? And more importantly, how do you expand the number of ideal clients that you are engaging with and reaching out to? This is not a if you build it, they will come strategy. This is an aggressive, how can we actively take steps in our marketing strategy to expand, not just to talk to anyone, but to talk to these ideal clients. You can do this on many different social medias. You can boost pages, you can sponsor posts that have performed specifically well. You can build your email list by using a lead magnet like a webinar or an ebook to help offer people value in exchange for their contact. These are all simple things and they're nothing new, but you need to make sure when you are reviewing your marketing strategy this year that expansion is a part of what you're doing. If you don't have an expansion element of your strategy, you're probably still talking to the same friends, family, clients that you've been talking to for years and hoping that they are giving you referrals when the moment's right, when they have someone that they know, when you could be actively expanding your network, expanding your audience of ideal clients that you want to do business with. Now, stage number 3, and this is where most people spend their time, is engagement. Now that you have aligned your ideal client with your branding and you have identified ways to expand your audience of ideal prospects, now you need a plan to engage them. This is where you actually get to start building and warming the relationship with the new prospects, new client personas that you have reached out to. Trust me with your life savings is not the first question you ask a prospect. My number 1 tip when it comes to building a strong engagement strategy, a strong relationship nurturing strategy, is to understand that all of your content, all of your direction has to be informed by your audience. I know a lot of advisors that when they sit down to create content, they start with the question of what's interesting to me. That's not it. You are talking to an audience, you are talking to an ideal client, and you need to start with what do they care about and what are they engaging with. Now, the only way to figure that out is not to guess, it's to do. As you do, you get feedback, you get this data, this performance data that tells you what people find most interesting. There's other details like what platforms, what time of day, that all can be figured out. But the key here is to say what messages are resonating with the ideal audience that we've been building. So a piece of advice here, build a KPI dashboard. If you're not sure what platform to use, shoot us a message, we'll get you pointed in the right direction. But build a central dashboard where you can see what topics people are engaging with, what posts, what visuals, what hooks. You want to see what your audience cares about. And then you let that shape the future content that you plan on creating. Step 4 is what we call the conversion and nurturing stage. On the shallow end of the pond, a lot of advisors just post kind of pre-written articles, or they have a sense of content that's going out, but they never invite their audience to get off the sidelines and take action. That's why with every client we work with, we have a rotating set of valuable call to actions that we can insert, experiment with, see what people are engaging with. This can be anything like an ebook, a webinar, an in-person event, some invitation for them to take a step that says, I'm going to connect with you more than just being a follower. I'm going to connect with you more just commenting on the occasional post, more than just opening an email. Give them a clear and genuinely valuable to them next step that they can take to grow closer with your business, closer down that funnel. One quick note on what you use to drive these conversions. As a financial advisor, this is a relational business. Something like a worksheet that tells people how to order and structure their retirement income, how to minimize taxes, things like this that just meet a very specific need. But when it comes to building trust, we recommend that all of our advisors have some form of what we would call long form or heavily relational engagement. This can be a webinar, this could be an in-person event, this can be a one-on-one discussion, this can be a one-on-one discovery call. It's important for people to get a taste of you, the person, not just you, the topic. So feel free to experiment with ebooks, e-chapters, things that are simple to put together and have a short-term immediate value for your audience, but also make sure that you take the time to create quality engagement opportunities for prospects to get a feeling of your personality, your philosophy, your character, things that matter when someone is choosing a financial advisor. And one last kind of stage, it's equally important, we already kind of covered it, is that you want to then go back into an engagement stage. Once someone has converted into a lead, they've given you contact information, they've asked for more information, this is when you need to continue to nurture them. There are a lot of ebooks that I have downloaded wanting to learn more that I have not become a client on. A lot of those are, there's not an interesting follow-up, there's not a relevant follow-up. And for advisors, you need to then nurture that relationship. You do this with tools like email sequences, with outreaches. Make sure that once they hit that conversion stage, there is a dedicated path that is given to them, that is sent to them, of engagements, of experiences, of data points, of interactions that help continue to warm the relationship and keep you top of mind as an option for their financial planning. You'll find that the more you can take people from this initial alignment and expansion, early engagement, conversion, and down the line engagement, the more you can have that as a fine-tuned process, the more your marketing system will start to work for you and produce results. If you're looking for a simple system, a simple strategy to better engage your clients and improve retention, these same principles apply. We help advisors with their client engagement strategies, and we use a very similar model, things like events, things like downloads, things like outreach guides. It's a very simple approach, but it gives you the opportunity to warm your relationships and to keep them warm as they progress. So that is our 5-stage strategy. I hope you find that helpful. Remember, align with your ideal client, expand your ideal client audience, engage and warm that relationship, give them a valuable opportunity to convert to a lead or the next stage of your funnel. And 5, continue to nurture them and stay top of mind after you have that step in your relationship. I'm Dan Keever, founder of Evergreen. Thank you for watching Evergreen Advisor.